Welcome back to Smithsdale Farm. This week, Danny and I have been making more progress in the kitchen as we try to get a bit more organised before the baby arrives. And Danny gets stuck into some prep work on the land before he attends an olive pruning workshop. Through the cold, windy, wet winter days that we've been having lately, there have been a few breaks for slightly warmer, sunny ones. So we've been taking the chance when we get it to go up to the land and get on with some winter jobs.
So next week I got myself booked on an olive pruning course, which I'm quite excited about because it'll be much more clearer instructions about what to prune, what not to prune, especially in my case where I've had everything chopped and I've got a lot of sprouts come through. Everyone seems to have a similar story but also slightly different, so it'll be interesting to see what happens on this course. So today I'm doing no tree chopping, but I am going to prepare the ground around the base of the olive trees just so it's a bit more level, a bit more clear, and I'm thinking to make it a bit more of a hollow, so when the water comes it's got somewhere to sit in. So this tiller is a hand-me-down from my mother, and the Vitabittle kit I forgot last time is I had the power bank but I didn't have the adapter, so today I brought it. You have to wait 2 seconds while Daddy fills this up, okay? Daddy's going to fill it up with some charcoal and then we'll crush it. Look out! Daddy's going to put it there. And then where's your stick? Try to push it a little bit. You can do it, yeah. Out and throw it. That's it. Now we go to the next bit. Do the same again. There we go. That's it. Next bit. You get some? That's it. Throw it. That's it. I know I'm going to get told off by the no-till people for this. It's just a little donut basically around the bottom, and it kind of keeps the grass clean, so next year when we harvest there's not so much to cut back. Hopefully it should be easier to cut back as well because we've disturbed it a bit. And then what we can do is we can put some green manure down here, so some clover or something like that. Just while it's wet and cold here, these kind of things grow quite nicely, and then come summer I can cut it and just let it rest there as a cover or a mulch, and then just till it over again come harvest time, so the nets can lay nice and flat and we can harvest nicely. So I think it will not happen on the first go, but I'm trying to make a little bit of a donut to also level out around the base a little bit so it can kind of catch the water as well when it rains rather than running off. We are due some more rain, so I will see how that behaves. but I think for my first go it's not bad, and I'm sure I'll get better the more and more I do. So the next one to attempt is this one, which is a bit of a beast because it's a bit unruly. So we'll see how that goes, and then Isabel's off for her nap and I should be able to get some more done. So that actually cleaned up much easier than I expected it to. So I'll put some more biochar around the base, and I'll trim out those middle bits that are the suckers, and a few other random plants that are there that I couldn't get in with the tiller just because, you know, the old trunk is a big trunk. As you can see, I'll take you in. So the old tree was a big tree, and so the base of it comes out quite wide. You can see actually quite nicely in here. Nice little ring all the way around. It will hopefully, when we put some green manure down, help feed the tree, and we'll put some biochar down and also make it easier to harvest. These holes in the old stumps, we had a few different comments from people, so let us know what you think on that. Some said just fill it with dirt and then the roots have got something to access on the inside as well. Others said that you could fill it with wood chip just so it breaks down inside there. Others said fill it with stones so you can water easily in there if you wanted. And then our neighbours leave them open like that, and then in the summer they've got somewhere sheltered already that they put the hose pipe in and drop some water in if it's a really dry summer. So yeah, let us know what you think. Be interesting to see what people have to say. So there's a bit of a flurry of work going on at the moment because Katie's now, I think she's just turned 35 weeks. So we've not got long until the chaos starts again, and we'll have less time for coming up onto the land and doing projects and that sort of thing. So we're trying to get up and do a little bit more at the moment, which is nice because we both enjoy doing it, and Isabel's big enough to semi-entertain herself, so that's been good. But yeah, we'll see how we get along with the second one up here as well. Isabel's been making doing a bit of baking generally since we've fixed up the kitchen. So we've got a little jam scone to have on my break between trees. The only thing I'm missing really is a cup of tea. I've got water. Didn't think we needed tea, but actually a cup of tea with this would be very nice. So that's the two trees we did this morning. I mean, I'm quite happy with how they look, but they definitely need some green manure under them because I've got a feeling that's going to dry out fairly quickly under there. I mean, the neighbours, they literally have uncovered ground everywhere, but I'm a bit more on the belief that we need ground cover, so I'd like to put something in there. And then a general trend, what I'm trying to do is get more earth down to the front of the terrace, so this back bit can hold water a bit better. Initially we're just going to start off with these donuts or rounds around the tree and see how we go from there, really, because otherwise it's a lot of earth moving, and you start thinking in terms of whole terraces. This tree in front of here doesn't look terrible, but I'm pretty sure it's wild olive, so we can be a bit more harsh after trimming. But like I said, I've got a course next week, so I'm going to wait before that. It might also be a good candidate for grafting, so I find some olive trees that we like the look of around the land, and then I'll pick a trunk or two, because if you see on this side, these two to me look really nice. But like I said, I'm not touching it until I've been on the course. So if anyone's got any videos about olive grafting specifically, it'd be quite nice to know about those. So you could say those in a comment or something, if there's something you think I might find interesting to watch or that you'd recommend, because I know grafting can be different for lots of different kinds of trees, and it's something I'd like to have a go at. And seeing as it's a well, not a worthless tree, but you know what I mean, it's a unfruit bearing tree really. It'll be interesting to stick some grafts on it and see what we can get. So this was one of the first trees that we kind of pruned when we first got the land. So this has had a fair bit of wood chip, and you can really tell in the soil it was much easier to turn, and it's definitely got more organic matter in it, let's say. So the tiller was going through it really nicely, much nicer than the other stuff on the other side, even though those have still been looked after more than some of the other trees that are out, you know, across a big terrace. These are the ones closest to the house, so I've had the most tinkering with. And this time I decided to add the biochar at the start, seeing as I'm tilling it all anyway, rather than tilling and then adding the biochar. I thought, well, why not add the biochar at the start, and then I just have to do one round of tilling rather than 2 rounds of tilling. So yeah, see how that works as well. But I definitely think that's a better way around to do it, because just quicker. So I don't know if you can see in there, but it definitely looks more like broken down wood chip here than like clay soil. And it goes quite dark once it's wet. There's land around here. The problem is it just never rains most of the summer. But this winter's been particularly wet, so the locals tell me. So yeah, the ground looks fairly nice. And yeah, you can see like there's leaves in it, there's bits of wood chip in it. It's already broken down over the last, 3-5 years that we've had it. Nice to see some progress, a bit of encouragement for the future. And so I'll go around this one now. You can see this is an old wood chip pile from last year, I believe. That was this year's that we just stuck in a pile. So I'll till all this around the tree. It just makes it look a little bit nicer, doesn't it? Looks a lot nicer, a bit neater, a bit more pleasant to be around.
In the kitchen, we decided that the next job that would have the most impact would be putting up some shelves on the wall. We've been planning to do this for ages so that we can clear off the worktops a bit and get some of the ingredients and the items that we use daily up off the surfaces. Until we build our kitchen island, we're a bit limited for worktop space, so clearing the sides will make it much easier for things like prepping food and cooking and baking. I started by marking out the placement just to make sure that we were happy before we started drilling holes in our beautiful lime plastered walls. So I've just marked all of this out so that we can see how it looks and if we like the placement. I've put where the brackets will go as well, because we want to make sure that we're not going to interfere with where we've got the pipe work here that goes down from the garage, up through the sink, and then up to the little bathroom that we've got upstairs. So there's a big section that we just need to avoid right there, so I've put that in. Everything looks like it's placed okay based on that. But now what I'm thinking is that this measurement is 182 centimetres. The full length of the shelf is actually 2 metres. And I'm wondering whether it's worthwhile just including that extra 18 centimetres or not. What we don't want to do really is interfere too much on this side here, because we're going to have the little fan there, and there's also this little bit that we've got to contend with, which is just like a stone pillar in the corner. So it makes sense that we bring the shelves to this section here. But then on this side here, if we add the extra 18 centimetres, it's quite a lot. It comes quite kind of close to this bit here, and I'm not sure it looks right. So I might also measure that out, and then we can look at the two variations and we can see which one we prefer. So although the extra shelf length does look quite nice, what I would worry about is that we would have to shift all of the brackets along. And that means that this one here would potentially fall like right in this section, which is where all the pipework is, just there. So yeah, I think maybe it might be safest to go for the shorter shelf, and then we're definitely going to avoid where those pipes are. I was just about to drill these holes, and then I remembered that that box that we have, the junction box, there's conduit in the wall that comes straight down to a plug socket that we've got underneath here for the dishwasher. So I'm just going to go back and check some of the footage and some of the pictures and just make sure that that's not going to touch it. I think we have a wire detector somewhere, but I don't know where. So first of all, I'm just going to check that footage and double check, see if I can see clearly from that, and if not, then I'll see if I can find the wire detector. Well, I'm glad I thought to check that, because that is exactly where I was going to be putting those drill holes. So I'm just going to shift this bracket in so that it's definitely clear, and then I can also equalise on that side as well. This is why it's really helpful to have done your own electrics, or at least planned them out. We didn't connect them because we know where they are, and yeah, you can double check things like that and not make a huge mistake. Lucky.
What I'm trying to do this time is get the runner in the centre, because last time I came too far with this. Sorry, drilling upstairs. Came too far with this, and it meant when I tried to double bevel, this washer wasn't resting on anything, and it just made a mess. So let's see if we can do that. So because this is for the shelf, we're kind of thinking to bevel both sides rather than the pantry shelves where we just heavily beveled one side. So it's beveled it a bit, as you can see, but it's not a nice round. So I'm going to go check whether we want this or a thicker bevel like we had before on the pantry shelves. Okay, so the decision was not to go with the double bevel on the top and bottom. We're just going to go for a deeper one on the top like we did on the shelves upstairs. So what I now need to do is adjust the router so that the bearing on the bottom runs across the bottom of the shelf thickness, so I can basically get a nice long run with the same size. So you can see, much nicer bevel on that piece of wood. Sorry, that's not my car engine, that's the neighbour's car engine. So as you can see, that's given a much nicer bevel on there as the manufacturer produced, and then a bevel edge like that. We will round these a little bit. So, time to do that on the big ones. So now we've got all the shelving boards standard, we're going to give them a coat of linseed oil and 1 or 2 coats, and then we'll go over with the wax like we did before for the pantry shelving, so they match and everything looks nice together. I'll not video myself painting the shelves because you've probably seen that before.
I'm happy with how they're looking. They're coming out quite nice with the wax, and they match quite nicely with the beams and windows, so that brings it all together nicely. So now the last thing is just to screw them in place. What do you think? It's a simple fix, but I'm really happy with how these shelves have come out. So that's where we're going to leave it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, as always, and for all of your support and comments and advice. Have a great week, and we'll see you on the next one.